So we're asked to evaluate this when x equals -2/3 and when y equals -1/2. So the first thing we need to do is plug in -2/3 in for x and plug in -1/2 in for y. Okay, that's what it looks like when you plug it in, and then we just have to simplify using the order of operations. So exponents has to come first. That means we need to figure out what -2/3 squared is. Okay, so maybe off to the side somewhere. When you square a number, it means you multiply it by itself. So -2/3 times -2/3. You multiply straight across the top. -2 times -2 makes 4, and 3 times, that's a bad looking 3, isn't it? But 3 times 3 makes 9 on bottom. So we just found out -2/3 squared is 4/9. So maybe we can copy that down. And now we can evaluate -1/2 to the third off to the side. Okay, when you have something to the third power, it means you take that number and you multiply it by itself 3 times. Okay, so -1/2 times -1/2 times -1/2. Okay, so you can just take it one step at a time here. You can multiply -1/2 times -1/2. A negative times a negative makes a positive, and 1 times 1 makes 1, and 2 times 2 makes 4. So I multiply these together and I got 1/4. But I've got to multiply 1/4 times -1/2. So 1 times -1 makes -1, and 4 times 2 makes 8. So we just found out that -1/2 to the third is -1/8. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite -1/2 to the third. It's we said -1/8. Okay, so to keep simplifying, first thing you could do is just go left to right. Multiply 2 times that 4/9. So put a little 1 under that 2 to make it a fraction. And then multiply straight across the top and straight across the bottom. So 2/1 times 4/9 makes 8/9. And now to multiply these fractions, you can multiply straight across the top. So 8 times -1 makes -8, and 9 times 8 makes 72. But then that's a fraction that can be reduced, right? Because they both are divisible by, they're at least divisible by 4. So 8 divided by, they're at least divisible by 2. -8 divided by 2 makes -4. 72 divided by 2 makes 36, but then those are both even, so you can divide the top and the bottom by 2 again, so you get -2 over 18, which is, they're both divisible by 2 again, so -1/9 is our final answer.